if true, what about, quote, verily we smile for some people, while our hearts curse those same people? That's Sahih al-Bukhari, 445, Uthman, Egypt, that Abu al-Darda said that here the Prophet, for God's sake, read the hadith. I did, and it says that. If not, put how it's supposed to really sound, okay? What does the whole hadith say? And on top of it, you say yourself, we are told not to tell lies and to recap. Number one, you have yet to show a link between being tricky in war and how truthful we are in speech. All you have established is one, we are sly and tricky in war, and two, we do not tell lies. Three, we are polite. So yes, quote, war is deception, unquote. But in all the examples of application I have read, the Prophet and Sahaba still never spoke actual untruths. And the second hadith isn't about truth or honesty at all. And you said we're not to lie. But are you doing deception now, thanks to Muhammad saying, quote, war is deceit, unquote? Read for yourself if you don't trust me, and my words will be shown to be true. I don't expect you to take whatever I say without question, and don't call me a liar without researching the facts that I show that I'm telling the truth. P.S. You still have yet to show where I have lied. You just keep suggesting that I'm a liar. For someone who accused me so much, you'd think you'd be able to say, quote, that there was a deliberate untruth, unquote. Well, thanks to taqqiya and Muhammad saying war is deceit, how do I not know that you, as a follower of Muhammad, aren't trying to lie to me now? So I furthermore say, again, show me one time I have told a lie, or start disrespecting me with insults like that. Also, I have to show the proof for my accusation. So unless you'd like to qualify your statement, you misrepresented yourself. A 20-year student with no knowledge. Come on. Does that make sense to you? How could I address it? So please provide an instance where I have lied. Otherwise, do not insult me by crying liar every time I come with facts that you don't like. Hey, I was wrong. It's actually been more than 20 years. It just wasn't in depth until more recent times. Okay, if that's your explanation, then fine. My point was that the statement, quote, I've been studying Islam for 20 years, unquote, and the level of knowledge you actually have, and don't have, rather, contradict each other. But still, that's not how you presented it at first. Nor does it explain why you continue to disrespect me by calling me a liar without no proof or evidence. I'm calling you a liar because you called me a liar by saying that what I presented about Islam was not true. That means you're calling me a liar. How can it be taken otherwise? Okay, one, my accusation was accurate. Even if you want to say, quote, oh, I just now got in depth. You said you were, quote, studying, unquote. No way you were that. That was my point, and your excuse makes no sense. So you've been calling me a liar for months. Now, what about before my totally justified accusation? Why then? And I still say that you are saying, that you saying you studied Islam for 20 years is intentionally misrepresentation to make it seem like your interpretation is informed. You keep saying, quote, 20 years, unquote. Looking back, I now know it was longer than that, but not as intense a study until later. But that's not the point, is it? You want to try to pull away, perform taqqiya, from the fact that Quran 424 not only allows for slavery, but allows the Muslim to have sex with his married slave women, making null and void the right of African Americans from the time the U.S. had slavery. As I said, the verse about marriage, not recreational sexual activity, also as I established, you cannot slap, let alone rape a slave. Therefore, it must be consensual. American slaves were murdered and raped and abused. So, the fact that a Muslim can marry her, make all that abuse void, hustle. If American slave women had the a choice. Islam gives that argument. Would we have the fact that though in the USA the slave did not give consent, rape, abuse, murder, a long way from Islam, where a slap is haram. So you can't slap them, just have sex with them, even though they are married to someone else? P.S. You keep saying 20 years as general time. You never said how much it was. I doubt it either. Because even if you weren't that serious, you should know more than just next to nothing. Is this true, or are you performing taqqiya and saying, I know next to nothing about Islam? Then do you oppose me and claim to be well informed in Islamic sciences? I'm familiar with Islamic sciences. The sun, quote, runs to a resting place. It prostrates under the throne of Allah before asking permission to rise again. The sky is a well-guarded canopy, guarded by stars in the, quote, lowest heaven that will shoot flaming missiles at you if you try to leave the zones of the earth without authority from Allah. The moon is in the midst of the zones. The sky is held up by invisible pillars you can't see, and an eclipse occurs when the sun falls off its chariot into a sea of water held up over our heads by Allah. Number 1, I addressed the hadith concerning the sun. It's not my fault if you ignore. 2, that is in reference to the jinn. Quote. 3, there are a number of ways that's interpreted. That there are no pillars you can't see, etc. And besides, if they are undetectable, how can you say they aren't there? Show me, number 3, show me one Sahih, or even Hassan Jati, that says the sun is in a chariot. I suspect you got that from Tabari. Let's see here. So you addressed the hadith concerning the sun. It's not my fault if you ignore me. Right. Both the Quran and the hadith have the sun sounding like it's orbiting the earth. You say that it's in the reference to the jinn. No. What does, quote, O ye assembly of jinn and men, if it be ye can pass beyond the zones of the heavens and the earth pass ye, not without authority shall ye be able to pass. And yet all are less, well, doubtless, 8 astronauts, Soviet cosmonauts, made it to the moon, which is, according to Islam, in the midst of the zones and they weren't attacked. Part 2. Way to dodge the question. When I say Islamic sciences, I refer to the areas of Islamic study, as in Aqidah, fight, touch with, authentic, action and hadith, etc. So again, do you claim to be informed in the areas of Islamic study?